everybody for coming over, and it's about Frederick J. McClanahan. You know, everybody knows him as. Okay, see, I don't want to do this already. Okay, Freddy. Some of you may know. Most of you, some people left already. Most of you know who Freddy really was. Freddy actually had scarlet fever when he was a baby, and so he ended up with some brain damage. He ended up. We've all seen the movie Forrest Gump, and in Forrest Gump, his IQ was 70. That was exactly Freddy's IQ. Freddy was a real life Forrest Gump. Didn't matter who they were. Freddy just accepted who they are. Freddy could find some characters. I mean, some real characters. A few of you are around the table here right now. So you find some strange people. Todd. Never. No, but in fact, he didn't have a lot of goals, but one of his odd goals was Vegas. When Freddy grew up with our daughters, Crystal and Ginger, or they grew up with Freddy, because Freddy he was my older brother, but he's more like my younger brother because family looked after Freddy. He didn't really take much look after. He went to work and took care of himself, but he had to make sure his bills were paid, etc. So he didn't have many goals, but after he lived with us, we ended up moving to California, and he was happy to go live with my sister Bonnie in Florida. Well, he got bored in Florida. All he wanted to do was come back to Vegas. We're in California, and one day Bonnie's like, calls me in California and says, Freddy's missing. I'm like, what do you mean he's missing? He's missing. We finally get a call from Freddy. Where is he at? He's back in Vegas. He got a bus back to Vegas. Unfortunately, he was with this woman named Maria who got him out here. And Maria was one of the people we told Freddy to stay away from. But he's like a teenager. Teenagers don't listen, but then again, most adults don't listen to advice from other people either. So, in fact, to back up a little bit, when Freddy went through his rebellious teenage years, like when he was in his 20s, and he had this really nutty, bad girlfriend that did him wrong. So Todd and I would pick on him to this day. So Freddy decided one day when his girlfriend was in her apartment that he just, he's pissed, so he just blew up her car. So
blew up her car?
Yeah, he blew up her car. So Todd and I would always pick on him and say, "Don't piss Freddy off. If you like your car, don't piss Freddy off." Yeah, he didn't like us picking on him. He's like, I was young then, but come on, hey, I'm sure. Most guys and maybe some girls have that little bit, hey, it'd be nice to blow up somebody's car that pissed us off too, but we didn't do it.
Put sugar in it or something.
Yeah, maybe we might put sugar in, but we ain't blowing the car up. But so back to Freddy gets back to coming to Vegas. Freddy had the goal. He came back to Vegas. He loved this town, bright lights, but he loved it because of his disability. He had the freedom for bus system. It was very friendly to him. He was free. So next thing we know, we're like, okay, Freddy, we got to get you back to Florida. No, it goes a little further. We get a call from Freddy again. I'm in jail. I'm like, what?
I don't like this story.
I'm like, but there's something behind this story. The reason I'm telling it. So this Marie, who we told to stay away, her and her boyfriend had got him to go in and cash a check in a casino. He was in jail for check fraud. Freddy could not read or write, but he's in jail for check fraud. Bad people. But, so we finally got him out of jail. We get, proving to the judge, hey, wait a minute, he's disabled. He can't read or write. How could he be in jail for check fraud? Took care of him. Got him back on a bus to Florida. Got him back to my sister's house, thinking it's all okay again, right? And boom. Get another call. Freddy's missing again. So he had a goal, and it was to come back to Vegas. He was here again, but this time he's with another person. And I'm not trying to tell these bad stories. I'm just trying to tell you stories about his life, and because he accepted people for whoever they were, no matter how messed up they were. So this one ended up having him move in, and she seemed presentable. She didn't seem like some of the tweakers we found Freddy hanging out with. Like, come on, Freddy, this person's a tweaker. Like, maybe you shouldn't.
That was wrong.
So
She did too.
So, oh well, maybe there might be more about it. It was probably
I'll tell you later.
well. See, I'm learning more right now. But then Freddie one day is like, the lady got him on Social Security. Freddie never had Social Security. He always had full-time jobs. Disabled? No, what's disabled? My dad taught him to work full-time job. He went to work, paid his bills like a man's supposed to. Next thing I know, Freddie says, well, she's not giving me any money. I'm like, what do you mean no money? She's paying your bills? I mean, I got that she had to pay bills if she lives with them. No money. I'm like, wait, like not even $20? No. So I told it, he had a social worker, and I told the social worker about it. Social worker didn't do anything. So I'm thinking, well, I don't know, maybe I'm making more out of this. Maybe Freddie's not telling us the whole clear story, because Freddie could not tell clear stories sometimes. So we're in California, and I get a call from another social worker. She got him a job at Walmart. This social worker's like, Freddie, is your brother? I suspect this lady's extorting him for money. Extorting him for a Walmart check and a Social Security check. So we worked together trying to get Freddie from this woman with the social workers. Boss, great people at Walmart. We had this lovely boss. People at Walmart loved Freddie. They worked hard to get him out of the house. We finally get Freddie on a bus to California to stay with us. We got him to sneak out of the house in the middle of the night, because he was basically a modern day slave. Because she had taken every dime. He had holes in his shoes. He couldn't go anywhere.
You guys
She told him what he could eat, etc. He was literally a modern day slave. So we finally get him. We're all stressed out. We finally work together with these people, get him out of there, get him to California, and Freddie's like, I want to go back to Vegas. Like, Freddie, we just got you. This is the third time. I like Walmart. I want to go back to Vegas. But here's the crazy part. I'm driving limos, driving a celebrity in LA. And I get a call, and it's Metro Police Department from Las Vegas. So I answer the call. I just dropped the celebrity off, and I get this call, and it's Metro Police Department. They're like, we have a report that your brother has been kidnapped. I'm like, that you've
by you?
That by me. By me. I'm like, oh, this is wonderful. Now she says, so she told the police.
Kidnapped by his own brother.
So she told the police that that she had custody and he was kidnapped. And I'm thinking Freddie would, if she had him sign a document.
We're talking to Lonnie, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to mention names because.
I know, but I will.
Yeah, go ahead. You can.
So as long as there's no last names, Lonnie's a common name.
It's not even a real name.
So I'm wondering if he's really kidnapped. If I've actually legally taken him out of the state, that she had him sign off that she's now a custodian of him, but luckily to find out, no, that wasn't the case. But that didn't matter because Freddie still wanted to come back to Vegas. So that's when I started calling a few people, and I called Todd here, and I said, Todd, my brother wants to go back to Vegas because I couldn't get him to stay. I mean, I could have been like Lonnie and ordered him, you can't go. She would yell at him to intimidate him to stay. So Todd took Freddie in, and he stayed here. So we finally broke him away from this slavery situation. And so he was in Vegas where he was happy. Then we ended up moving. I know this is a long story. So we ended up moving back to Vegas. And he had stayed with Todd, he stayed with Barbara, and Freddie's life was better. He was free to work his Walmart, had the freedom to what he was a man. He still wanted his freedom.
And then he got tired of eating dinner with the cats jumping on the couch.
Yeah,
at
well,
Barbara's house.
yeah. I won't say the cat lady because somebody
Now
might put
there's
this on
wolves
Facebook.
over there.
So, well, yeah, there might be.
No, there are.
Yeah, well, I'm sure.
She's like, woo.
So, this might go on Facebook. Oh well. Oh well. But so we moved back to Vegas. Meanwhile, and then Freddie moved in with us. Freddie, since the time he was with Todd, he was free again, and he lived with us. He was happy. He would go where he wanted. He still find these crazy people. Like we know a lot of them aren't even good for him, But at the same time, we're not his masters, and we can't. He's a grown man. He has to make his own decisions, whether they be good or bad. And he made most of his decisions were great because people loved him. I just went in Walmart today and they were crying. They loved Freddy, of course. So Freddy to the last day, he was going to work, had the freedom, he had an upset stomach. He told Teresa's last thing for Freddy was getting him Pepto-Bismol because he said he had an upset stomach. That was the last time she saw him. The last time I saw him was checking to see if he's okay because he was sleeping. Don't do that. I was doing okay, Teresa.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. So I just said, Freddie, okay? It was a rainy day, said, just sleeping. It was late in the afternoon. Teresa checked on that night, said he had an upset stomach. She went to the store and got him Pepto-Bismol. The last thing she did was went to the store for Freddie to make him feel better, thinking he just has a stomach ache. And so the next morning, I woke up to go to the bathroom, and we know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
So I won't go into details, but you know, this is the last thing I'll say about Freddy. I open up by saying that Freddy was a real life force. Everybody loved him. He accepted everybody for who they are. And, you know, unfortunately, he didn't leave us a shrimping dynasty, but he left us something way more important, and it's the love that he shared. And that's Freddy. So I'm just glad he loved everybody, and everybody loved him. And we love you, Freddy.